Hey guys, John from Story Prism here, and I wanted to demo an exciting update to Story Prism that we will be launching soon. So we decided to really rethink Story Prism and go in a completely different direction than what we did previously. So if you guys are familiar with the old version of Story Prism, um, you can come in and kind of work on your characters, work on your log lines and plot, etc. And it kind of is these form-based template tools with, and you can interact with the AI by pressing a generate button. So it's pretty limited, pretty linear in its design. And so we decided to completely throw this out and go in a different direction. I wanted to demo that for you guys here. So our prototype, which we are currently working on, is right here. So this is, again, is a bare bones prototype. We're still working on the final design. So it won't look like this at launch, but I wanted to show you guys how this is going to function and get you guys an idea on what to expect. So we decided to create instead of having formulaic templates, forms that you fill out, we decided to go with a open-ended canvas layout. So this is a pretty much a sandbox environment where you can essentially create anything you want the AI to do. So if you want the AI to be an expert at blog writing, you can do that. If you want the AI to be an expert at screenwriting, you can do that. If you want the AI to be knowledgeable about anything that you have in your pre-writing, you can do that. So it's really up to you to how to make the AI work the way that you want it to work. So very different than ChatGPT and other things like that. So essentially what we have is an open canvas where you can create assets, which are essentially notes. And so the magic here is that the AI uses these notes in its response. And so if you have a note about characters and plot, etc., any details you put into the description, the AI is going to use that in its answer. And so this makes it very customizable. So it's very exciting. And the other thing that we have is a document or story or a screenwriting application or a writing application, which is also going to be included in the new update and available for free users to use. So why don't I stop talking about it and actually show you guys how it works? So I've already created a scene expert. And so what I want to do is I want to work on a scene for my story. So I've created basically in the description, I've written essentially a prompt. If you are familiar with prompting, you can essentially use the description as a prompt for the co-pilot or the assistant. And then I've tagged it, and that's also really important, is to create a tag. And so how the AI will work is that it will use the tag to find the information as well as the description and the title to help you out. So let's go ahead and do this. So I've created a scene, basically let's call it a main node or main asset, and it's my prompt essentially to describe what I want the chatbot to do and how I want it to behave. And then I'm going to create another note, and I'm going to call this scene summary. Okay. And I want my scene summary to be the scene starts out in the morning, where we are introduced to the protagonist, Michael, and his wife, Julian. They are in bed, and the alarm goes off. Just something generic. Okay, so that's a quick basic scene summary. Now I want to create a tag so it understands. I'm going to add a tag, call it scene summary, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and tag that. And now I'm going to attach the scene summary to the scene expert. Okay, so I have my scene summary here, something very basic, and I have my scene expert, essentially my prompt. This is what I want the chatbot to be. And I'm going to say, using the scene summary, please write the first scene of my movie. Okay, So as we can see, it's writing the first scene, right? And what's really cool is that it accurately managed to put Michael and Julian, which are in here in the scene description, accurately in here. Now, whether or not it's a good scene, I don't know. We probably should go through it and tweak it. And of course, you can do that. But that's just to give you an example here. So now, anytime I want to talk about my scene, and of course, what I can do is, what's really cool is I can like copy and paste this, and add it to add it here to my document. So now I have my scene, and I can just kind of keep doing that. So that's one example. Now, again, I could add on to this and make this even stronger by adding more detail. So for example, let's say I want to really flesh out Michael as a character. Now I can do that. Let's say I don't really know what to say. So let's say, can you help me flesh out the character of Michael more? Michael more. I want to explore his desire, need, and his moral conversation. And we'll let the Copilot figure that out. And then what you can do here is, once it's finished, you can actually copy and paste, that thing to flesh it out. Michael's primary desire could be rooted in personal or professional goal. For instance, he might aspire to achieve success in his career, wanting to prove himself to his family or society. So yeah, so we can, it's asking, it's basically, it's trying to help me figure out what I wanted to do, right? And so let's have a conversation. Okay, so I want Michael, and again, I have no idea who Michael is. I'm just making this up. I want Michael to be a carpenter, and I want him to be struggling financially. Probably misspelled that, but all right. Okay, so, and whatever it figures out, I will add to the description. Okay, so here we go. Great choice, making Michael a carpenter, blah, blah, desire. As a carpenter, Michael's desire could be centered around establishing a successful business. He might provide a better life for his family. Okay, cool. I like this desire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and put it here. And again, I'm not interested in making this story. I'm just interested in demoing this. So I'm just going to go ahead and just copy and paste it into this description, right? So, this is very cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste this in here, and I'm going to call this character. And so now I have a good idea on Michael. Now, it's not just Michael. It's Michael, and then protagonist, right? Okay, and so now what I can do is, in order to make the chatbot aware of my protagonist, I can connect it to that. And so now when I clear the chat, if I want to do this again, write the opening scene of this movie. Okay, now it's going to have a better idea on my story, because not only does it have the scene summary with general beats of what I want, it's also going to have more of a description of Michael, right? And so we even see that here, as we see, rugged, tired, 5 more minutes, the scene is, it's really talking about him as a carpenter, etc. Now, again, we can kind of tweak the scene and make it more of more nuanced, right? We can add more subtlety, etc. And all that can be worked out. But that's the idea here. So anything I put into this canvas will be used by the AI. It will understand that and use that in its response. Okay, so that's just a really quick cursory overview of what's possible here. Now, as you guys can kind of probably imagine, the possibilities here are kind of endless. I mean, you can really take this very far. You can have as many nodes or assets as you want. You can combine them in all sorts of ways to make the Copilot work in very interesting ways, very different than anything else out there. And I wanted to show you guys another example. So we have these templates. So these are pre-made templates that we're going to be introducing. And they will be available to use to add to your canvas. And what these are essentially ways that you can make the AI work better. So we've created a few here. We're going to be adding a lot more, eventually adding the ability for you guys to make your own templates and share to the community. So very cool feature. But here's one example. So if we wanted to kind of enhance our dialogue, I wasn't really satisfied with that dialogue. So I want to kind of take this and enhance it. So what I can do is I can add this dialogue enhancer, and I'll just add it to my chatbot here. And now I wanted to write the scene. So write the opening scene of this movie. And what it's doing is it's taking information from our dialogue enhancer prompt, and it's adding it to your prompt, and it's creating, it's going to basically make the AI work a lot better. So it's going to introduce more subtlety, more nuanced tone. Let's set the tone, right? You're going to get a lot better. So right now, as you can see, you know, it's already looking better. I mean, I'm not reading it thoroughly. I'm just kind of cursorily going over it, but it just, like, there's a lot more subtlety going on here. It feels a lot more real. It's working a lot better. And so that's cool. So you can do that yourself too. If you have an idea, or even if you want to come up with examples of what good dialogue is, you can do that. You can add that as an asset and say, you know, you can copy and paste examples from screenplays. You can write your own versions of dialogue and what you think Michael would talk. You know, you can say, you know, things Michael would say. What you can do, which is really cool, is instead of attaching that to the main node, I mean, you can attach that just to the Michael character note. And then that way the AI will associate the character with these dialogue ideas. Based on this, you can kind of see that it's building out here, and you're kind of creating this logical flow of reference for the AI. All right, guys, so that was a broad overview of Story Prism 2.0. As we get further along in development, we're going to show you guys even more of what this site's capable of doing. Yeah, so we're going to be releasing this soon, and we look forward to showing you guys the final product. And yeah, and we'll keep you guys posted on our updates.